All right, guys. Well, welcome to today's live training. And we're going to talk all about how to go out to eat, how to dine out, and how to do it guilt-free. Now, I'll tell you this is the honest to God truth. This is probably one of the most impactful lessons that I teach to all of my clients. Because as we all know, we can eat strict and only eat our meal plan and only do that, but that is not fun at all. And here at iFM Coaching, we really pride ourselves on trying to teach you how to have balance, okay? And how to have both the lifestyle that you want, being able to go out to eat with your friends, being able to enjoy, going out to eat for a cheat meal or whatever it is, just being able to go on vacations, right? Enjoying the lifestyle and really having the lifestyle that you want, but also being able to do that and have the body that you want as well, and how to work towards that, okay? As we all know, it's super simple to be super strict and get totally out of balance with life. Or it's very easy to have the lifestyle that we want, but be totally out of balance with the body that we're really working towards. Okay. So, and today is the dining out portion of the lifestyle. And this is going to be probably my favorite one so far. So I hope you're ready for this. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And let's talk about dining out guilt-free. Okay. So let me first tell you what I'm not talking about, okay? What I'm not talking about is going out to eat for a cheat meal, okay? If you're gonna go out to have a cheat meal, then just go out and enjoy it. If you're gonna go eat pizza, beer, wings, and do all that stuff, go enjoy it. This is not about that type of thing, okay? So if you know that there's a restaurant that you go to on a regular basis because this is where you get the best pizza or you get the best enchiladas or something, right? Then, this is not going to cover that particular thing. Okay. So this is not about cheat meals. This is how to add going out to eat as part of a healthy way of living and not really get off track with your meal plan. Okay. Now, my clients know, if you're a current client of mine, you know that I encourage you to go out to eat. I'll tell you this, it's not always the people that follow their meal plan 100% strict are the ones that always get results, right? So as you know, we can all start following a plan and we can follow very, very strict, right? But when we don't follow that plan, then we just go back to our normal ways of doing things, right? If we can't eat that meal prep meal or we can't eat that food that we cooked or that healthy meal, then we're like, forget it. I'm just going to go eat a cheeseburger or I'm going to go eat pizza, right? So that's the conundrum that a lot of people are in. But the people that are really the healthiest and the people, and I'll call it my high achievers are people who have seen the transformation and have kept the transformation off. Okay. What they have learned to do is how to actually still stay on their meal plan or still stay eating healthy, even when they're not around their foods, even when they have to rely on outside food sources. Okay. So this particular session on learning how to dine out is going to be extremely important. Okay. So as you know, like I talked about, this is not about just going out to have a cheat meal, okay? But there are ways that you can actually, since we're on that topic, let's talk about how to actually make a cheat meal healthier. So there are ways to make your cheat meal healthier, okay? I call it a healthy cheat, right? So if you don't know, there's actually 3 different types of cheat meals. There's a regular cheat, which is, beer, wings, pizza, cheeses, sauces, pastas, all that stuff, okay? Then there's a healthy cheat. And a healthy cheat is when you're still eating a lot of calories and probably still a lot of unusable calories, right? But at least you're picking healthy sources of food and you're making it healthier, right? And then there's clean cheats, which we're not going to get into. It's kind of crazy. If I told you, you probably wouldn't like it very much, okay? But a healthy cheat, the way that you can make a cheat meal healthier is just focusing on eating foods that are non-processed. So like when you go somewhere to eat, right? Just try to eat more natural foods, right? More proteins, more regular carbs that grow from the earth, okay? More of the real fats, okay? Now, you don't necessarily have to do all these, substitutions or do whatever, but you can eat a healthy cheat meal. Like you can go eat, chicken fajitas, for example, and that could be a healthier type cheat meal. If you just say, chicken fajitas with refried beans and Mexican rice, right? That's still a cheat meal, but it's a healthier cheat meal because at least you're getting rice that your body can use. You're at least getting the beans that your body can use, and you're getting, the protein from the fajitas, or whether it's chicken or beef. But you're probably going to get a lot of extra calories that really just your body isn't likely to use. So if you want to make a cheat meal healthier, then just focus on natural foods, right? Proteins, the good carbs, the better fats, okay? And just focus on that and don't worry too much about portion sizes, okay? But this is really all about how do we actually do it guilt-free, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into that, how we do it guilt-free, okay? So before we can decide, before I can tell you all that, we first got to understand when we actually want to use these dining out guidelines, these guilt-free dining out guidelines, okay? So number one, if you need a break from your normal way of cooking and your normal way of doing stuff, and you want to go out to eat, then make it okay. Just use the guidelines that we're going to talk about, okay? If you want to go out with friends and you want to be social, you want to, do a family event or whatever at a restaurant, that's another good time to do it, okay? If you're out and about running errands and you really don't feel like packing your food with you or doing any of that, and you know that you're going to be around some healthier type restaurants, then you can do that. Okay. Or if you're in emergency situations, maybe you left the house and you felt like, oh my gosh, I can't be around any food, or I was out longer than what I expected. This is a good time to use these guilt-free dining out guidelines. Okay. So that's when to use them. Okay. Now let's jump right into just talking about the general way to order when we're going out to eat. Okay. Now, as you know, the problem that we have whenever we go out to eat is that most places aren't really focused on the health aspect of things, okay? Maybe in their marketing, they're focused on the health aspect. But when it comes down to the nutrition, they don't really care. They just really want to make food taste good, right? So they'll use a lot of butters, they'll use a lot of oils, a lot of flours, a lot of different things like that really will make it a cheat meal, okay? So if we can understand what makes a cheat meal, or what these restaurants are doing to make it not so healthy for us, then we can start to formulate what we can do to make it a bit healthier for us, or guilt-free, as we talked about, okay? So anytime that you're going out to eat and you're doing it for guilt-free, always think, I need to eat a healthy carb, a protein, a fat, and a vegetable, okay? So anytime you go out to eat, always think, I need to eat a carb, a protein, a fat, and a vegetable. And if you can have that mindset initially, that's really going to help distinguish which restaurants you can go to, okay? So one thing that you'll have to know is, as you go through this, you'll learn this, that not all restaurants have healthy carbs, right? Every restaurant that you go to, for the most part, is always going to have a lean protein and a veggie on the menu, okay? That's your grilled chicken salad, okay? It's your, Caesar salad with dressing on the side, which we'll get into all that here in a second. But every restaurant you go to, for the most part, is always going to have a protein and a veggie, okay? But not every restaurant is going to have a healthy carb or a healthy fat available, okay? So when you're going to a restaurant, just know that pretty much anywhere you go, you'll be able to get that protein and veggie. But really, you have to see, am I going to be able to get a healthy carb? Am I going to be able to get a healthy fat, okay? Now, there's some places you can go and they will have all of it. They'll have a healthy carb, fat, protein, and vegetable, okay? There's going to be some places that just have a healthy carb, a healthy protein, no healthy fat, and then they'll have veggies, right? Or vice versa. They won't have the carbs, the healthy carbs, but they will have the fat, okay? So as long as you can understand just kind of how we're trying to formulate this, okay? We're trying to always, when we go out to eat, we always want to think of, I need to eat a healthy carb, I need to eat a lean protein, I need to eat a good fat, and vegetables, okay? So if you can do that, you're on the right track, okay? When you go out to eat, and when you decide of where to go, how do you actually do it? What's your way of choosing healthy foods when you go out to eat? Or do you not have a way at all? Okay. So the general way of thinking about it is always a carb, fat, and a protein. Sometimes you'll be able to get the healthy carbs. Sometimes you won't be able to get the healthy carbs. Sometimes you'll be able to get the fat. Sometimes you won't be able to. Okay. So just order what you can get. As long as you can get a carb, a fat, a protein, and a vegetable, you're great. But like I said, you will always be able to get a protein and a vegetable no matter where you go. So that should be kind of your safe zone, is knowing that if you don't have control of the restaurant, you'll always be able to get a healthy protein, a lean protein, and a vegetable in a way of a salad or something else. Okay. All right. So now that we've kind of understood the basic stuff, we can actually take it to another level. And that next level being, how do we actually make it really, really healthy? Okay. So for example, if you want to order your proteins, I always suggest that you order your proteins, no butter, no oil, okay? Grilled or baked or blackened, okay? Dry with no butter, no oil. Always try to get your carbs steamed, boiled, or baked, right? So if you're doing rice, always try to get it steamed, okay? You don't want to get the fried rice, okay? And obviously your veggies, you want to try to get those steamed as well. And sometimes you don't really have the option. So you have to say lightly saute or use light amounts of oil. Okay. So this is key. Okay. Anytime you're ordering your proteins, always do it cooked dry, no butter, no oil. Now it doesn't really come out dry. That's just instructions for the cook. Okay. So lean proteins, cooked dry, no butter, no oil. Okay. When you're doing your carbs, try to get them, again, cooked dry, no butter, no oil, steamed, baked, or boiled. And when you're doing your vegetables, try to get them steamed. And if they absolutely have to, lightly sauteed. Okay. So that's just the basic general way of doing it. So if you take that to any restaurant, okay, so take that way of ordering, okay, dry, cooked dry, no butter, no oil, steamed, all that good stuff. Plus, you take it with the idea of I need to eat a carb, a fat, a protein, and a vegetable. Then you're pretty much limitless on where you can go. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about specific restaurants that you can go to and really choosing restaurants by cuisine, because this is how I do it. And this is how I teach people to do it. Okay. So you can actually eat guilt-free with Mexican food, sushi, barbecue, Mediterranean food, Thai restaurants, Vietnamese restaurants, Chinese restaurants, burrito chain restaurants, breakfast joints, steakhouses, seafood restaurants, standard American fare restaurants, and salad restaurants. And I could probably just keep going on all the different places that you can go to get healthy foods. Okay. So let's just start off with, we're here in Texas, so let's talk about how we're actually going to get Mexican food healthy. What do we actually do? What do we actually order when we go to a Mexican food place and we want to do it guilt-free? Okay. So what I always say, again, a lean protein, a veggie, a good fat, and a good carb. Okay. Now, the easiest thing to order at a Mexican food restaurant is chicken fajitas, and I'll tell you exactly how I order it. Chicken fajitas, cooked dry with no butter, no oil. Okay. Instead of refried beans, I order chara beans. Okay. And then instead of regular fried rice, I will say double chara beans. Okay. Then I'll get corn tortillas. I will also get guacamole on the side. And that is a great way to make Mexican food healthy. Anytime my girlfriend and I want to go out and enjoy some good Mexican food, that's exactly what we do. We order chicken fajitas, cooked dry with no butter, no oil, double chara beans, corn tortillas, and guacamole. And we make a great meal out of that. Okay. Sushi is a great place to go. Okay. Now, where sushi goes wrong is when you start adding all the fried elements to it, when you start adding all of the creamy sauces. Okay. Now, you don't want to avoid the creamy sauces, okay? But you do want to have them, but you don't want to have them drizzled all over the top, or you don't want to have your meat just completely fried up to where, you're losing some of the nutritional value there, okay? So sushi is a really great place because at the end of the day, all you really need is fish and rice. If all you did was get fish and rice, you are good to go. Now, you can get the rolls with the fish, the rice, the vegetables, even the avocado, or even a little bit of cream cheese in it, and you're going to be fine. Okay. But at the end of the day, if the base of your sushi is just fish and rice with vegetables and maybe even a fat, that is a great place to go. You can get at a sushi place a carb with the rice, whether it's white rice or brown rice. You can get the protein, whether it's, fish or shrimp. Okay. You can get your vegetables, obviously, with the different vegetables that you can put inside the roll. And then you can get your fats in way of avocado, which is best, and then cream cheese, which is second best, but at least your body can still get some usable fats from that. Okay. What about Italian food? Unfortunately, Italian food is one of those places that it's extremely hard to eat healthy because, as we know, Italian food places are just pastas for the most part, pizza and pastas, right? And so some Italian places will have whole wheat pasta on the menu. And if you can get whole wheat pasta on the menu, then order that. And with, if you're doing a, spaghetti or some kind of marinara, you could do that. If you're getting like a Alfredo, that's something that's super high in fat, you probably want to get the pasta with the sauce on the side, and then you can, monitor how much you have there. But the only way that you can really make Italian healthy and really get Italian, not just get a salad, right? The only way to really do it is that they got to have whole wheat pasta on the menu. Sometimes you'll be able to get, sauteed vegetables and things of that nature, but American Italian places, it's extremely hard to find something that's super healthy. So unfortunately, we usually stick to Italian food being our cheat meal because it's just really, really difficult to find a place that actually has whole wheat pasta. So that's a great question. All right, let's keep going. So barbecue joints are a great place to do something healthy. Okay. Now, all barbecue joints, for the most part, they're all going to have some type of lean protein there. They will either have chicken breast, they will have turkey breast. And one of my favorite things to get at a barbecue joint is extra lean brisket. And I order it just like that. Extra lean brisket. Now it's still going to have, more fat than, a chicken breast, for example, but at least it's going to be extra lean. Okay. You're not going to see any ounce of fat anywhere on the outside. And if I really want that beef taste, that brisket flavor, then I'll get extra lean brisket. Now, when it comes to how do I make that into a meal, there's a couple ways that I can do it. I start with the protein, and then if I want to get the vegetables, I can get the vegetables, but typically barbecue joints are really tough to get good vegetables there unless you're doing a salad, because a lot of times the vegetables are already pre-cooked and they're pre-sauteed. They're not made to order. So the corn is in butter, the beans have all kinds of stuff in them. So sometimes it's really hard, or it's like baked beans, right? Where it's super high in sugar. Sometimes you can get regular pinto beans and that's fine. But typically what I do is I just order a beef baked potato, extra lean brisket, and just the potato dry with nothing on it, right? And so they bring that to the table, and then I'll throw in pico de gallo or put some salsa, and then I'll definitely always get the barbecue sauce on the side. So I get my extra lean brisket or my chicken or my turkey breast, okay? And then I will get a plain baked potato. I'll salt and pepper the potato, and then for fixings, I'll throw on some, tomatoes, some onions, some chives, whatever the case may be. But the barbecue sauce, the cheese, and even the sour cream, I'll put that on the side, just so I can control how much I eat. Sometimes I want to, dip it and have that flavor. Sometimes I don't at all, but I definitely put the barbecue sauce on the side because barbecue sauce is really, really high in sugar. Okay. All right. Tess says you usually order pad basil beef with jasmine rice. Is that okay? Yeah, depends on where you go. Sometimes they're going to be extremely oily. Sometimes they're going to be pretty clean, but the beef itself is going to be kind of a, higher fat beef. So just know that beef in nature is just going to be higher fat than normal. And so I would probably say this is more right on the lines of a healthy cheat meal, depending on how much you eat, and kind of a healthier choice. So it's kind of riding that line. It's not quite a healthy choice, but it's not quite a full healthy cheat meal. It's kind of right in the middle of it. But if you were to go to a Thai restaurant, for example, and that's what you were to order, that would probably be one of the better things on the menu. So that would definitely be okay to do. Okay. So as long as you understand the food that you're ordering, Tess, as long as you can understand it, it's never wrong. Okay. Now I'm going to rant for a second. Don't make yourself wrong for trying to do the right thing. Okay. More times than not, it's not wrong. It's very rarely ever wrong. Okay. Unless you're doing a fitness competition, unless you're trying to be a bikini model, unless, you have to be strict for a particular reason. Don't make yourself wrong. The moment you start making yourself wrong, or even asking questions, is that okay? That's kind of asking, is it wrong? Is it not wrong, right? It's kind of another way of asking it. You just don't want to make yourself wrong about a lot of stuff, because the more that you make yourself wrong, the more discouraged you start to get, and the more likely you aren't to stick with this long term. So just really in general, just try not to make yourself wrong. Just try to understand what you are eating. Okay. So pad basil beef is just, it's beef sauteed, it's vegetables sauteed, and it usually will have some kind of garlic sauce or something of that nature. And of course, jasmine rice, if it's not fried, if it's steamed rice, you're going to be okay. So that's a pretty great place to start. And you're definitely eating healthier than if you were to go do, pick something else on the menu. Okay. So now let's talk also about Mediterranean food. Mediterranean food is one of my favorite cuisines on the planet. It is amazing. And there's a really easy way to do Mediterranean food. Again, you're going to hear the same types of things. Start with the lean protein. You will always be able to get chicken breast for the most part, anytime, whether it's chicken kebabs or just, grilled chicken breast, but you will always be able to get chicken breast from a Mediterranean place. Okay. One of the great things about Mediterranean restaurants is they have a ton of fresh vegetables. Okay. And yeah, they're in olive oil and they're in fat, but it's not cooked olive oil, and it's extremely healthy. If all you did was go to a Mediterranean restaurant and you were to get the protein, the chicken kebab, and then you were to get all the vegetables, right? The fresh raw vegetables in a salad, whether it's Lebanese salad, whether it's, just a regular old salad or tabbouleh or something of that nature. And you just ate protein and all the vegetables, man, you are rocking and rolling. Now you can even, add some rice to that, but you got to be careful with the Mediterranean restaurants because a lot of times their rice will have a lot of butter and some things like that. Sometimes even roasted potatoes would be a good bet whenever you're going to a Mediterranean restaurant. But you really can't go wrong with a Mediterranean restaurant if you just stick with the chicken kebab and all the vegetables. And they have the best flavors, especially with vegetables. If you ever want to learn how to cook vegetables better, look at a Mediterranean cookbook because they will show you how to cook vegetables in a gazillion different ways, and it's amazing. Okay. Also, chicken shawarma is another good protein to get from a Mediterranean restaurant. Lamb, yes, lamb is a high fat meat, and so that's right along the lines of beef and things like that. Now, if you're doing a cheat meal, then yeah, make it okay to do lamb or beef or whatever it is that you want to do. But if you're trying to do guilt-free dining out, then it's better to stick to the chicken breast, the chicken shawarma, or the chicken kebabs. Okay. All right, let's keep it rolling. Now, Tess already brought up the Thai restaurants, so we'll go ahead and do the Thai restaurants again, okay? Again, it's the same concept. You want to find something, and we're about to go into the Asian food section of this particular topic. And Asian food restaurants traditionally are just very easy because they do cook with a lot of vegetables in Asian cooking. And so we're going to break it up into Thai, Vietnamese, Chinese, and I mean, we could go on. There's Japanese, there's Malaysian, there's all kinds of stuff, even Filipino stuff. But we're not going to go into all that. We're just going to stick with the basics, Thai, Vietnamese, and Chinese, and go with that. Okay. So with Thai restaurants, let's start there. So you start with a lean protein, a veggie, and a good carb. The chances of you being able to find a good fat there aren't very likely. Sometimes they'll have it in ways of peanuts or whatnot, but it's usually not very likely. Okay. But if you're trying to find, okay, what is a good protein that I can have? Well, they always, for the most part, have chicken breast. They have shrimp. As far as veggies, they're going to have all types of veggies. You can even add more veggies to that particular meal if you just want to load up on veggies. And then obviously you'll be able to get your steamed or your brown rice. Okay. When it comes to, dining out guilt-free, you really want to try to avoid stir fries as much as you can because they do cook with a lot of oil. If you've never seen the way a stir fry is cooked, go ahead and look it up on YouTube and you'll see the amount of oil that's used. Okay. So typically you want to try to avoid stir fries. Truthfully, I like to stick to more of the curries. Okay. Whether it's, the red curry, the green curry, I try to stick more to that stuff. Now there's even some restaurants that you can go to that will have curry that isn't coconut milk based. Okay. Now curries are awesome. Curries are really awesome because, with a curry, you're obviously going to have all the flavor of a curry, right? Whether it's green, red, yellow curry. Okay. You're going to have all the flavors of that. Then you're going to have all the vegetables, and then you can choose whichever type of meat you want, whether it's chicken or whether it's shrimp. Okay. And the curries are traditionally made with coconut milk. And so the coconut milk is high in fat, but it's a good fat. Okay. So in that particular meal, and obviously you would combine that with steamed rice or steamed brown rice, right? And with that particular meal, you are getting fat from the coconut milk. You're getting protein from the, obviously from the chicken or the shrimp that you choose. And then you're getting your vegetables as well. And then your carbs from your rice. So you're getting all of those categories, a carb, a fat, a protein, and a vegetable. And you're getting that from curries, right? And like I said, there are some places that you can go to that will have a coconut free curry. Okay. Which is a lot of times what I get, because you get the flavor of it, but you don't get the heaviness of all the fats. Okay. So that's really good. Vietnamese restaurants, again, this is kind of the same thing. You want to try to avoid stir fries. A lot of times that's just how you're going to get it. If you can get steamed chicken and vegetables, then great. If you can order, tell them to go light on the oil, that's usually the best way to get the Vietnamese flavors, but still eat at a restaurant and not have to get too much fat. Okay. Now there are certain restaurants that I go to personally that when they make their food, they are definitely not making it with a ton of oil, which is why I tend to choose those places a lot. Okay. A lot of times if I'm going to a Vietnamese restaurant and I have to get a stir fry of some sort, I'll order it the way it comes. And I know that there's going to be a lot of fat in the oil. So instead, I'll try to limit the amount of rice that I'm doing. Okay. So just always keep in mind that your fat and your carbs are interchangeable. So if you're eating a food that's high in fat, in this case, it's oil fat, right? Then, you want to try to limit your carbs a little bit. Okay. That's a good pro tip. Okay. So that's a good way to do Vietnamese. Now at Vietnamese restaurants, you have chicken breast, you have shrimp, that you can get. Those are always usually pretty good places that you can get. Now, Chinese restaurants are actually really, really neat, because pretty much any Chinese restaurant you go to, you will always be able to order steamed chicken and veggies. Always, 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 always. I have never been turned away at a Chinese restaurant to order steamed chicken and veggies. Now, it's not the best thing on the menu, but if I'm in a pinch and I am going out to eat, or I need to go out to eat for whatever reason, then I will definitely look up a Chinese restaurant, because they're on every corner all over the United States, right? And then I will order steamed chicken, steamed veggies with sauce on the side, and then steamed white or brown rice, whatever I can choose. Okay. So you can, Pei Wei does it, PF Chang's does it. You can even go to Genghis Grill. I know that's not really Chinese, that's more Mongolian, but you can go to a Mongolian barbecue place and still order something like that, steamed chicken and veggies. Okay. You can also go to different burrito chains like Chipotle or Freebirds or Burritos, right? It's so easy. So you can go to burrito chains and eat healthy. Okay. And again, all it is get a lean protein, right? You got your chicken, you've got your either white or brown rice, whichever one you choose. Okay. You've got your regular chara beans, whether it's black beans or brown beans, not the refried. Then you got all the different veggies that you have, and then you can get guacamole, and you can get it on the side, you can get it on top. One of the things that I like to do, that I like to coach people to do, and I'll tell you this right now, is if you're doing a burrito bowl place, double up on the protein. So get extra protein, okay, get double portion of your chicken breast, and then get the normal size rice, the normal size beans, throw your veggies on top, and get the guacamole on the side. That's normally what I tell people to do. And then you have two meals. You can actually split that into two. They give you enough carbs for two meals, but they don't give you enough protein for two meals, which is why you need to do double up protein. So if you go to Chipotle and you get a burrito bowl with double protein, okay, you're probably going to spend $11 with guacamole, maybe $12. But now you can split that into two meals, okay? And now you can eat that 2 times throughout the day. That's a great, great thing to do at these burrito joints, okay? Steakhouses, you can also do steakhouses, okay? It's crazy. You know, if you go to a fancy steakhouse, I definitely wouldn't tell you to do this. But if you're going to like, you know, just a non-fancy steakhouse, that's the easiest way to say it. Non-fancy steakhouse, you know, and even something like a Saltgrass or a Texas Roadhouse or something of that nature, you can get a leaner cut of protein, right? So a good lean cut of protein is, or at least for a steak, is you can get a sirloin, you can get a New York strip. Those are usually the leaner cuts of meats that you can get at a steakhouse. But you can also get things like chicken breast or turkey breast, even fish you can get at a steakhouse. Now, if you're going for a steakhouse, I'm assuming you want steak, right? So we'll stick to the steak. And then again, just like the barbecue joint, I get a baked potato or a baked sweet potato if they have that option. And I get with all the fixings on the side. So all the sour cream, the butter, the cheese, all that stuff, just put it on the side. All the bacon bits, put it on the side, right? And I want to be able to add as much as I want to add. If you just let them do it, they're going to pile it on. Okay. And you just went from eating a semi-healthy meal to like, oh my gosh, you just over-consumed a ton of calories. Okay. So if you put everything on the side, you can control how much you put on there. And if you use what's called the fork rule, right, where you just get your fork, you dip it into, let's say, the sour cream, and then you pick up your meat and your potatoes, you know, you'll still have that flavor of that sour cream, but you won't be using as much. Okay. So steakhouses are great. Seafood restaurants, those are awesome as well, because obviously you can get fish, you can get shrimp, whether it's blackened or grilled. Right now it's crawfish season, so you can do crawfish and do it guilt-free and go to a crawfish boil. Just eat the crawfish tails and you are doing just fine. You could even do it with some potatoes and some corn. Okay, those are healthier carbs. You are doing just fine to do a crawfish boil. Okay, you could even do lobster tails. Those are all really good. Okay, and when it comes to carbs at a seafood restaurant, like I said, you could do either a baked potato or a baked sweet potato if they have it. You could do white rice or brown rice. You could even do some potatoes like we talked about in the crawfish boil. Okay. And we can keep going on and on and on and on and on, but we've already gone long enough. And so what I want to know is, what restaurants, now that you've kind of heard this, what restaurants do you think you want to try? Maybe there's a restaurant you're like, hey, how do I eat healthy at this particular type of restaurant? Maybe some mistakes that you saw that you were making or something you learned. I want you to go ahead and comment below and just kind of tell me how you're going to order the next time you go out to eat, or what you're going to look for the next time that you go out to eat. Well, guys, if you want my show notes from today's lesson and you want all of this stuff that I talked about, go ahead and comment and say notes, and I will go ahead and shoot you over today's notes where I go over how to make a cheat meal healthier, how to order when going out to eat, and then all the different cuisines that you can get and what to get. Okay. So if you want those show notes, go ahead and comment notes in the comments and we will go from there. So I'll see you next time, guys.